Welcome to ESPN's coverage of the College Hoops Tip-Off Marathon presented by Disney Parks. It's Washington State and number 23 Gonzaga. Only 75 miles separate these two schools, and they meet tonight in Spokane for an early season non-conference showdown. Dave Pasch and Doris Burke, at least 25 consecutive hours of college basketball. What are you looking forward to most of all?
Well, before we're done, Mike Krzyzewski could stand alone atop the all-time wins list. That'll be an emotional evening for him if he does it. You've got Kansas, Kentucky, and New York City. It doesn't get better than that. I'm ready. We're at one of the great venues in college basketball, and they're definitely ready.
Yeah, bringing the house down. Time for a one-on-one segment. Each team, Doris, looks to score in different ways.
Yeah, their respective challenges. For Gonzaga, it's all about the front court, led by senior Robert Sacre. 7 foot, 260 pounds of offensive rebounding terror. And Washington State is perimeter-oriented. Basil Aiden is an explosive shooter. And Reggie Moore has got to be a cool head in what is a tough environment.
22 wins for Washington State last year, and they hammered Gonzaga 81-59. You mentioned Aiden Moore. They'll be joined by Capers, Modem, and Enquist, who makes his second career start. Gonzaga, 14 consecutive 20-win seasons. And the starters for the Zags tonight, we talked about Sacre. Harris will join him along with Hart, making his second career start. Carter and Pangos, his first career start. He's an excellent shooter from Canada. Hour one set to tip off. Gonzaga ranked 23rd in the country. They are picked to win the West Coast Conference. Washington State hopes to be a challenger in the Pac-12. And here is Pangos getting his first start for Gonzaga.
Washington State opens in a zone. This took Gonzaga a bit by surprise a year ago. It won't this evening.
And Pangos, we mentioned, can shoot the ball and miss there, but Sacre with an offensive rebound. He averaged 6 boards per game a year ago. Carter got his own miss. Already a couple of offensive rebounds. Gonzaga played a game on Friday night, beat Eastern Washington, and had 22 offensive rebounds in that game. Here's Pangos trying again. This time he hits.
First thing Washington State did when they arrived at the McCarthy Center last night was a rebounding drill for exactly that reason. It is imperative they keep Gonzaga off the glass.
That possession was almost a full minute for Gonzaga. Aiden had trouble with the handle. Able to keep possession and dump it off. And a foul inside as Sacre went for the block on Brock Modem. Mark Few is in his 23rd year on the Gonzaga staff. He coached his 400th game on Friday. All-time winningest coach at Gonzaga. Now you think, Doris, about this day and age when a lot of coaches are looking for the next best thing, as you see Ken Bone in his 3rd year at Washington State. Mark Few has stayed at Gonzaga. He's had a lot of opportunities to leave, but he's obviously been able to recruit, and they've been to the NCAA tournament 13 straight years.
Well, he's got it rolling. He's second winningest active coach by percentage, sandwiched between Roy Williams and Jamie Dixon. He's been here 23 years total, and they've got it rolling, and it fits him. I think it suits him perfectly.
Gonzaga working the perimeter, trying to get Sacre open, as Pangos has hit 2 threes already. Well, Mark Few told us today he wanted to start Pangos because he felt that he could get him off to a good start, get the crowd going, and hit some outside shots. He's done just that. Here's Aiden. And good defense by the Bulldogs. Now Modem on the baseline, lost it to Sacre. Pangos will let it fly again. This time he's off the back rim. But good play by Hart to get the steal.
See, people will wonder why Mike Hart's in the starting lineup. Well, he's a guy who just makes those kinds of plays. And if you're Mark Few, you just think, I've got to have him on the floor.
Here's Harris from downtown. No. And Aiden with a rebound.
I think that's smart. I think the guards out of that zone in particular can go down and on those long, high rebounds contribute and help the interior game.
5 of the 6 field goal attempts already for Gonzaga have been from behind the arc. Washington State still looking for its first field goal. Moore forced that one up, could not drop it in over Pangos, and it's tracked down by Hart. And another three-point try. And an offensive rebound for Sacre.
Well, you can see philosophically, Washington State is saying, okay, we're going to give you the perimeter jump shot. They're paying an awful lot of attention to this guy.
And Sacre called for the offensive foul, hooked the defender. That's 2 on him already.
Well, they're shooting perimeter jump shots mostly because there's a lot of attention around the interior guys. They're trying to put at least 1.5 around Sacre, and that lets you have uncontested jump shots. And this young man is in the starting lineup because he shoots it so well.
Meanwhile, Doris Sacre on the bench for those 2 fouls.
Well, he was looking to get Sam Dower some more minutes.
Yeah.
It is by necessity now.
Yep. At 3 points on Friday. Averaged 8 points per game last year as a freshman. Aiden trying to go baseline. And able to float one off the backboard that won't go. And Pangos hustling out of there with it. 3-on-2 Gonzaga. Here's Harris with the catch and the stop. 8-1. Washington State has gone more than 4 minutes without a field goal. The only point by Modem at the free throw line. Capers on the baseline into traffic, and he stepped out of bounds, turned it over.
Well, you lose a first-round draft choice in Klay Thompson for Washington State, and Gonzaga is at home. They're confident. They're looking for revenge, and Harris leaves no doubt.
Trip through the Palouse, 75 miles from Pullman to McCarthy Athletic Center in Spokane, where Gonzaga is 90-6 since it opened the building in 2004-2005. Now Washington State has dominated the series, which goes back to 1907. And we talked about the game last year, 22-point win in Pullman. But the story of that game really was Klay Thompson. And he ended up becoming the 11th pick in the draft by Golden State. And so far, Washington State missing him. They don't have a field goal yet. Only point coming to the foul line.
And if they're going to, make a run at winning this basketball game, Robert Sacre is on the bench with 2 early fouls, and he is the dominant low box player, the one that they spent much of their time talking about in terms of their scout. So now is the time for this team that's sort of reshaping itself without Thompson to make a little push here.
So far, Pangos has accounted for all 3 field goals, got an assist, and hit 2 3-point shots. And a foul called here on Gonzaga. Washington State got a steal. And then Dower picking up the foul, his first. Take a look at tonight's side-by-side, brought to you by Brother Printers. Washington State losing 2 of its top 3 scores from last year. Gonzaga, meanwhile, returning 5 of its top 6.
Well, exactly my point. Without D'Angelo Castro and without Klay Thompson, now you need to turn and accept responsibility for Faisal Aiden and your Reggie Moore.
Now Gonzaga did lose Stephen Gray, their leading scorer from a year ago, as Aiden gets the first field goal for Washington State, and it comes after more than 5 minutes of game action. Pangos will shoot another 3, his 3rd triple already.
High hands. You've got to have a guy's made a couple threes in your face already. How your hand cannot be up and contest and close enough to at least make him think about it.
Contact on the baseline, and a blocking foul is called on Mike Hart.
Well, there has been a long line of terrific guards at Gonzaga, and Pangos has certainly proven to be an exceptional shooter out of the gates in his first year.
Well, Gonzaga hit three-point baskets in their opener, Doris. Pangos with 3 3-point baskets already in this game. Meanwhile, Hart picking up the foul, his first and the fourth on Gonzaga. No fouls yet on the Cougars. Here's Ayton off the bounce, got the defender in the air, and gets the roll. Gary Bell, a freshman from Kent, Washington, into the game for Gonzaga. Zags have a good mix of talented veterans as well as freshmen. Pangos and Bell on the floor together right now, both in their first seasons at Gonzaga. And the shot clock inside of 10. Here's Dower down low, can't bank it in, and boarded by Enquist.
Enquist was working incredibly hard on the defensive end there.
Moore trying to spin it in, and he's way off the mark, cleared by Elias Harris. Here's Carter down the lane. Offensive foul is called. We got the restricted area now in college basketball. First year of that. Let's see if the defender was indeed outside the restricted area when contact was made.
We'll give you the high angle look. This helps with the clarity for the officials, and he's well outside the box there. The one challenge, while it helps with the clarity for the officials, instead of simply looking at the torso of the defender and the offensive player, now you're looking at the feet and the torso.
Devontae Lacey, freshman from Tacoma, Washington, who the Cougars are counting on for points this year, is into the ball game. As there's another Gonzaga foul, the ball rolls in, but I'm going to say it's a common foul, ball out of bounds. That's the 16th foul on Gonzaga, none on Washington State, and 2 quick ones on Marquise Carter. So Carter to the bench. Matis Merninghoff from Germany comes into the game. And Ayton nails a 3, and Washington State within 3.
Against Eastern Washington, it was a lot closer than people would have liked. Inside of 6 minutes, a lot of pressure on Gonzaga, and the 3 hurt them.
Pangos dumping it down low to Elias Harris, and he had it swatted away by DJ Shelton. And then a foul called on Shelton on the floor as Bell got to the loose ball. That's the first Washington State foul. Well, Tuesday, the College Hoops Tip-Off Marathon concludes on ESPN with the inaugural State Farm Champions Classic doubleheader from MSG. First at 7 Eastern. We talked about Mike Krzyzewski trying to pass Bob Knight for #1 all-time in wins, in Kentucky, Kansas at 9 Eastern. Great interview, Monday Night Football halftime on ESPN with Mike Krzyzewski and Coach Knight together. I'm talking with Chris Berman about the eventual certainty of passing Coach Knight. Out of bounds, it'll stay Gonzaga ball.
Well, Bob Knight was on Coach Krzyzewski's XM satellite radio show, and before Coach could even ask a question, Bobby Knight said, "Could you please tell your guys to win 3 straight so I can stop saying nice things about you?"
That's good. Here's Merninghoff, and another 3-point basket, the 4th of the game for Gonzaga. Offensive foul called as Lacey was out of control and Dower stepped in front. First on Lacey, second on Washington State.
Well, the threes have been mostly done by Pangos, but little inbounds by him. Subtle shot fakes, ball fakes, pass fakes, getting defenders reacting, and then good solid out of bounds underneath. One of the things Gonzaga does emphasize is scoring off their inbounds underneath.
Murninghoff last year shot 46% from behind the arc. Here he goes again from straight on. That one was off target. There's Shelton putting it on the floor, and Dower able to recover and get the block. And Pangos contact, can't get it to drop. But a Washington State foul. Gonzaga midway through the first half leads by 6.
Welcome back to Wazoo versus Gonzaga. Up next is Northern Iowa versus St. Mary's.
Northridge versus Hawaii. Drexel versus Rider. Morris State versus College of Charleston. Kent State versus West Virginia. Belmont versus Memphis. San State versus Baylor. Rhode Island, Texas. Duke, Michigan State. Kentucky versus Kansas.
Now the guy in the Batman mask will be doing the halftime interview with Mark Few. He was pretty good.
Belmont and Memphis will be a great game, and Memphis better be on upset alert because they were all Duke could handle on Friday night.
Here are some of the other things you could do. Of course, you'll be watching basketball, but you could also watch the Godfather trilogy 3 times. You could drive from here to Milwaukee in 25 hours. The average college student, that might be the best one. I was actually surprised by that number. I thought it'd be a lot higher.
Oh, no question. 116, I thought that was light.
And that's normally about your pace, 116.
That's your pace for in-game. Let's see if they score again. I mean, they really do a tremendous job scoring off their out-of-bounds plays.
And Pangos trying to get free, can't. Got 3 threes already in this first half. Gonzaga with 12 of its 14 points coming from behind the arc. And Harris looking for Lane, and he was able to get the shot off but couldn't hit. Now Pangos, his 4th three already.
Best time to shoot an offensive, a three-point basket off an offensive rebound. Everybody's turned to the rim, and you're recovering such a long way out.
Well, again, Mark Few, bears repeating, told us earlier today he felt he needed to start Pangos as a freshman because of his ability to shoot the ball, especially here at home, getting the crowd into it early. And he's off to a great start. Enquist down low from Aiden. Pangos off the screen. And now Bell will rise and hit a 3. 6 of the 7 Gonzaga field goals are triples.
Well, I'll tell you this, it's only November, but how crisply is Gonzaga running their offense?
Yeah, really. And you talk about their schedule, and they've got one of the toughest schedules non-conference in America. And obviously, if they shoot like this, they're going to be able to compete with all those teams like Michigan State, Illinois, Arizona, Butler. Harris, good look by Pangos, who's doing it all here in the first half.
And all of this without the guy who is your senior leader and one of the hardest playing players in college basketball, Robert Sacre.
Oh, good pass by Moore, and the basket by Brock Modem. Here's Bell with a floater. I don't know if that was a pass attempt to Harris or what. Off the backboard, and here comes Washington State. Aiden with the kick out, and the three-pointer for Ladd won't go. Out of bounds, it'll stay. Washington State basketball.
Well, watch Kevin Pangos. First of all, he's done a tremendous job relocating. He's in charge of getting everybody organized offensively, but picks his spots, just floats behind the defense against the zone. When he's over on the side, if you're backing off, he's pulling the trigger. It's impressive the pace at which Pangos is playing. He's going to get a brief rest here, but he's very Ball under control, 4 assists to go along with 4 field goals, great percentage. Usually you can speed young guys up. This guy is playing at his pace.
Getting a breather now as David Stockton Johnson checks into the game, and a blocking foul on the drive by Bell. Capers picking up his first. Let's see here again if it's a restricted area issue. No, he was outside of it there, but apparently did not have position.
Well, tremendous job by Bell, whose physique and frame is very solid and ready to be played at this level. And I say this to you, doesn't it feel like Washington State is spending an awful lot of time on their heels?
Bell, a terrific high school player, was the Associated Press Player of the Year and was recruited by all of the Pac-12 schools, pretty much, including Washington State. UCLA also was interested in Bell, but he chose to play at Gonzaga. 23-12, the Zags on top, but a three-pointer from the corner for the Fresno State transfer Mike Ladd, who's from Seattle. Here's Bell, his second three. And the freshman lighting it up for the Bulldogs tonight. Pangos with 12 and Bell with 7. So 19 of the 26 scored by those 2 freshman guards. Aiden fires off target. Spangler with the rebound. Here's Bell again. And Bell, the Washington State coaches thought he traveled. Missed 3 by Stockton. And a timeout called by Ken Bone. Gonzaga with 7 3-pointers and an 11-point lead.
Well, Gonzaga has a couple of rookies that don't play like rookies. We saw Pangos making shots early. Gary Bell comes off the bench, starts making threes. And, you know, sometimes as a coaching staff, you put so much emphasis on where you think the team's strength is. And Washington State talked extensively last night about the interior game and Gonzaga's ability to draw fouls in there. Now, all of a sudden, the number of threes by Gonzaga, just incredible.
Almost like the Zachary foul trouble has allowed Mark Few to see maybe another side of his offense, maybe a side he wasn't sure he had with these freshmen, and whether they could step up and hit these shots in game. Gonzaga's made 5 of its last 7 threes, and a lot of these points coming off offensive rebounds. They have 9 second chance points to nothing for Washington State. Patrick Simon misfires on a 3 and another Gonzaga rebound. Good play with Ladd coming, able to trail and get the steal, and the headman to Capers for the layup.
It's a poor decision by Stockton. I mean, Sam Dower looks at him like, I'm not prepared to catch it at the free throw line and put it on the deck.
Stockton to the entry pass, and Dower. And now Pangos. Another one. He's 5 of 7 from 3-point land.
I'll tell you this, folks. If Pangos shoots it like that consistently, you're going to have a tough time guarding Gonzaga, because then that's going to open the interior for Harris and Zachary.
And Chris with a putback. Right, let's not forget that arguably Gonzaga's best player has barely played tonight. Zachary at 7-footer. Dower out to Stockton. Now the fans here want Pangos to shoot it from there. Merninghoff with another 3. The 9th 3-pointer for Gonzaga in this first half. They have 2 field goals from inside the arc. Everything else coming from 3-point land. Moore splits the double team. Ladd can't hit the 3. Here's Pangos And that was a 2-point attempt over the backboard. It'll go to Washington State.
The question mark for Gonzaga was their perimeter game too young to be good? Mr. Pangos, welcome from Canada to Spokane, Washington. And Murninghoff, another 3. They've got 9, and they're running Washington State out of the gym.
Gonzaga's hit 9 threes and has a 13-point lead. Coming off a 25-win season and a trip to the 3rd round of the NCAA tournament. Look at the teams with the 25-win seasons the last 4 years, and you find 3 that are in the WCC, including new member BYU. Gonzaga picked to win the conference. They have won the West Coast Conference 11 straight years, either sharing or winning the title outright.
And if somebody was going to pick them off last year, I mean, it should have been last year, because they lost 2 of their first 3 conference games, but able to withstand that. And what a job he has done. They're tied for 4th all time in terms of his 13-year number of wins, 317. You know who he matched? Jim Boeheim, who's gone on to a Hall of Fame career.
In terms of the most wins during that time frame, you're right. As Gonzaga picks up its 17th foul. That's maybe the first mistake by Pangos there, reaching in, picking up the foul. He has 4 assists and 15 points here in just his 2nd game. A 2-shot foul here from Marcus Capers. Check that 1-1. One official said 2-shot foul. The other said 1-1. Tuesday, the College Hoops Tip-Off Marathon presented by Disney Park continues on ESPN2. First at 6 Eastern at Summit. And the Lady Vols in action taking on Miami. Then at 8, men's action Ohio State and Florida. What are your expectations for Summit in Tennessee this year?
Well, they're a national championship contender. There's no doubt. Clearly, they've got to deal with Pat Summitt's diagnosis of early onset dementia, but they're stacked with talent, and they've got a great staff that's been together a long time. I think you'll see them in the Final Four.
Oh, Pangos with contact on Capers, but no foul. Gonzaga with 7 to shoot. Here's Stockton into the lane. Timers down to 4. Hart on the baseline. And bailed out with a blocking foul with 4 to shoot. That's on Modem, his first. 15 foul on the Cougars. Aiden will come back into the game and replace Mike Ladd.
I asked Mark Few what the ceiling on this team was. He said, well, we need our young guys to get good. This guy's been pretty good tonight.
Oh, Pangos, that one was in and out, but an offensive rebound. And a foul called as Spangler went back up. 16 foul in Washington State. They get Patrick Simon there.
And even without Robert Sacre, who had 5 offensive rebounds against Eastern Washington, one of the better offensive rebounders you'll find, this team is still offensive rebound in the basketball. So when I asked Mark what the ceiling was, he said the guards, the young people have got to get better and they've got to get experience, and we can't rush that. We've had teams with more talent, but I love the chemistry on that group. And I'll tell you this, Dave, the chemistry is evident through the first, almost 15+ minutes of this basketball game.
We talked about Sacre being out, but remember, Elias Harris hadn't done a whole lot yet in this game, and he does have 4 points, but here's a guy that last year averaged 12 points, 6 rebounds per game as Washington State turns it over. So you think of the talent and how it's balanced.
Yes.
You got perimeter shooters, as we can see here, and obviously you know what Sacre can do, and Harris can do both. He's an inside player and can also shoot it from outside. Spangler looking for the return. Got it from Stockton, then the block by Capers. What has to change here for Washington State offensively to get back in this game?
Well, I think one of the challenges, nice move. That'll help.
Yeah. Modem taking it to the rim. Able to throw it down, and a foul on Gonzaga.
They've got a couple of issues. Let's watch the terrific move. And this is just a tremendous move by an obviously agile big guy. Solid left-hand drive. This is just special. Excellent recognition. I think you got a couple of things going on here. Obviously, when you lose the caliber player that Klay Thompson is, you're trying to figure out who's going to get the shots and where they're coming from. The other thing is, remember, Washington State runs a 5-man motion that's accustomed to having a legit 5, a back to the basket 5. They don't have that, so they're figuring it out.
Sam Dower for 3, the backup center. The 10th triple for Gonzaga. Now they're saying it's a 2. His foot was on the line. So a 2-point basket. It's 35-22 Gonzaga. And now Dower picks up a foul, his second, 19 foul. And Reese, I understand that Hubert Davis has volunteered to stay in studio for the entire 25 hours so Billis and Digger can go home and get a nap.
Digger needs his beauty rest.
Will he change the ties and the highlighters between now and then is the question. Meanwhile, Brock Modem, who looked good on a drive to the basket and dunk, will shoot a free throw with 5 points so far. And one more coming.
I think this guy is crucial to this team. He's playing with more confidence. He clearly has ability. They need this guy to be a factor on both ends. In and out skills. He's got something to his game. He's just got to be consistent.
Meanwhile, on the other end, they were correct in the initial call that Dower's jump shot was a 2. His foot was on the line. So impressive how many guys can shoot the ball for Gonzaga. A wild shot there by Pangos. And Aiden out of there with it, racing back down court. Got tied up by Hart. And on the alternate possession, it will stay Washington State basketball.
This is what I'm talking about with Mike Hart. On the other end, he almost created another possession by getting an offensive rebound. He doesn't give up on the play. Gets a hand on the basketball on one end, sprints down and makes the block. This is why that kid is on the floor.
Aiden. And the defender didn't go for the pump fake. And a Gonzaga foul there as Washington State was trying to get the offensive board. That's the 10th team foul.
See.
Now check that. Got a foul on Washington State. Tuesday, the college hoops tip-off marathon concludes. The inaugural State Farm Championships Classic doubleheader with Duke, Michigan State, Kentucky, Kansas. An outstanding doubleheader from Madison Square Garden.
Well, Mike Hart, you're going to look at his stat sheet at half, and you're going to see 0 points, one field goal attempt, and 2 rebounds. And think, geez, why is he playing? But it's all the intangibles that when a coaching staff watches film, this guy is helping your team with the little things.
Foul was on Simon of Washington State. As Hart gets the first free throw, junior from Portland. Last year, his career high for minutes in a game was 13. On Friday night, Hart's first start, he played 29 minutes and had 9 rebounds to go along with 4 points. Gets both free throws there, and it's a 14-point lead. Both teams in the bonus, 3.5 to go here in the opening half. There's Enquist, defended by Harris. Modem with a nice move and a pass by Reggie Moore, able to find him in the lane.
I think he needs more touches. As good as Mike Hart is, I don't think he can check him if he's isolated.
Bell misses the 3, but there's Hart again. And now Pangos from straight away. Hit another 3. His 6th of the first half. Foul called on Gonzaga, so a 10-team foul.
There's a turnover differential and there's an offensive rebounding differential. Washington State, there's 3 bodies around that ball and not one of them pursued it. Instead, the guy who did was Mike Hart, and wisely looks right to kick it out. And, you know, to a certain degree, this is effort points here. I understand, you know, Gonzaga's a terrific offensive rebounding team, but this is without Sacre. And that was a case in point. There's 3 red jerseys standing there. They're all waiting for the other guy to get it.
Yep.
Go pursue the basketball.
Sacre played the first 2 minutes. and picked up that second foul. Pangos picked up his second foul. He'll go to the bench. 6 threes in the first half. The Gonzaga record for most threes in a single game is 9 by Dan Dickow. So Pangos has a shot at it in just his second game as a Bulldog. In his first start.
You know, and I'm impressed by his shooting, certainly, but I'm as equally impressed by the pace, his smarts.
Odom has the last 7 points for Washington State, and Moore missing the free throw. Here's Stockton off the screen, and Moore was there defensively. Now Merninghoff, he'll try another one, fading to his left, high off the back rim.
You can tell the kid can shoot it, though. His form's terrific. His pre-shot routine is terrific.
Here's Moore on the drive, able to bank it in. Tough shot by Reggie Moore. Been battling a groin injury.
Yeah, they weren't even sure they wanted to play him. You know, he's not 100%, and that's the kind of injury where if you get hurt in the first game, it's usually something that's going to sort of linger all season.
Harris into traffic, and a blocking foul is called. It's on Modem, his second, 18th foul on the Cougars. Oh.
This guy, you know, you got to play him for the drive. He'll go either direction. Likes to go left, but presents right there.
Harris is a junior, had an outstanding freshman season, averaged 15 points per game. His numbers dipped last year, just over 12. As you look at John Stockton, who played here at Gonzaga, and one of the best players in NBA history, and his son David, a sophomore on this team. How about this? John's daughter Lindsay just signed to play basketball at Montana State. He's got another son, Houston, who's playing football at Montana. There's a nice pass by Modem. And the basket for Patrick Simon.
Really impressed with Modem's game.
Yeah. Got 8 points for Washington State. And that assist there. Good defense by Aiden. Here's Stockton. Dower can't get the bounce. Dower tried to save it, and it's Washington State ball. Ahead to Aiden, he could not handle the pass. Turnover. And a timeout by Gonzaga. 11-point lead for the Zags, who've hit 10 threes in the first half. 10 of the 13 baskets for Gonzaga in the first half have been three-pointers. Their lead is 11. Doris, can any team keep this shooting pace going?
No, you look up and it's only 11, despite the fact that they've made those 10 threes. So if you're Washington State, you head into the locker room, you know your focal point was interior defense. Now you've got to make the adjustment to a better job contesting the three-point arc, and just tell your guys, hang tough. You know, let's keep guarding. But know this, guys, they're not going to make this many threes if we do a better job defensively.
Does it just come down to rotating quicker and getting a hand in the face of the shooter?
Yeah, I mean, let's give some credit to one, the offensive rebounding prowess of Gonzaga, even without Robert Sacre, because they've kicked out for a couple of uncontested ones. They've also executed their offense more crisply for a November game than you might expect, particularly with young guards. Bell and Pangos have been sensational.
And Pangos is back on the floor with 5 assists and 18 points, all on threes. He's 6 of 9 from three-point land, 0 for 2 from two-point land. Merninghoff misses a 3. Dower trying to track it down, and out of bounds off of Gonzaga. Big possession here for Washington State with the shot clock off, trying to cut the lead to single digits going into the locker room.
And Gonzaga goes zone. Let's see if Modem can't get a touch here. You'd normally think Faisal, but Modem has been terrific.
Here's Aiden. 10 seconds. More to Capers. They got Aiden free in the corner. Got the defender up. But the three won't go. Modem is there. 3 seconds left. And Modem puts it in with 1 second remaining. Big basket by Modem to close out the half and to get the Cougars within 9.
Well, great patience. Ball moves side to side. Reggie Moore does a terrific job. We said he had to be cool. Up fake, sell the defender, nice little soft shot, allows Modem to go to work. And how about the patience of this guy? I mean, this guy is talented. He needs to believe in his talent.
He's got 10 points in the first half. Washington State within 9 at the break. UPS halftime report now. And Reese Davis. Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the College Hoops Tip-Off Marathon presented by Disney Parks. Number 23 Gonzaga on top of Washington State. 41-32, a 7-1 run by the Cougars to close the half. Meanwhile, Gonzaga shooting the lights out. The school record for threes in a game is 22, and they're about halfway there. 10 threes in that first half.
And they came from multiple spots. Your question was whether young guards good enough. I think they found some answers, and those answers would be yes. This is Gary Bell, the rookie. Yes, sir, he can make shots. He's got a college basketball-ready frame. Matis Merningham, yeah, he can shoot it too. And my man, Kevin Pangos, down from Canada, makes 6 in the first half.
18 points, 5 assists, and 0 turnovers for the freshman in his first start in just a half. Again, Washington State closed out the half on a 7-1 run. Brock Modem with 10 points to lead the way for the Cougars. We'll see if they can keep momentum going here out of intermission. Robert Sacre starting the second half, played 3 minutes in the first half because he got in early foul trouble. They're trapped by Washington State. They find Harris in the corner.
So an immediate change, obviously. Washington State, a lot more pressure now on the perimeter. Looking to trap those ball handlers out top.
Here's Harris, shot clock at 8. Harris trying to fight out of the double team and a jump ball. And on the possession error, it will go to Washington State. Hour 2 of the tip-off marathon underway. A minimum 25 hours, 4 different time zones, games in 11 different states. Here's Aiden, hits a 3, and it is a 6-point contest.
And you're right there, and I like this switch defensively because now you're not just so focused on Sacre and Harris inside. You're saying, okay, you made some shots, now we're going to make those shots tougher. They come out of the zone and they go man-to-man.
Pangos putting it on the floor. And a fall away in the lane is short. Tipped around to Harris as Gonzaga continues to control the glass.
Yeah, that's one thing they've got to clean up. And again, I said it. The first thing they did when they stepped in the McCarthy Center last night was a rebounding drill, just to get their guys' minds right.
9 offensive rebounds for the Bulldogs. Sacre posting up. Instead, they reverse it. Here's Carter. Harris with that quick pass inside, and Sacre is fouled. Capers picking up the personal. His second first on the Cougars in the half.
Well, just watch this. They're going to start and relocate, does Faisal Aiden. Just a little stagger screen. He comes off 2, but he starts on one side of the floor, makes his defender recover a long way. Good inside, outside basketball. Very hard to guard both movements.
Good resolve, too, here by Washington State. They got down by 15 in the first half. A lot of young players. But they have kept the pressure on defensively and also starting to get something going on offense now as Sacre gets the 2 free throws. Got a nice stroke for a guy listed at 7 feet tall.
And a guy that's going to shoot an awful lot of free throws, too.
He shot 18 in game 1, made 14 of them on Friday night against Eastern Washington. First points of the night, though, for Sacre because of the foul trouble in the first half. Here's Modem. You're impressed with his skill level in the first half. Nice move there, but he couldn't finish.
Yeah, that's okay. I keep going through there. I mean, he is a highly skilled player.
Here's Carter down the lane. Got free, couldn't put it in. Harris tips it. The first one didn't go in, but the second putback is good.
Both guys are aggressive, attacking the offensive glass. You cannot give up on either guy, Harris or Sacre.
Consecutive buckets by Gonzaga push the lead back to 10. Here's Modem putting it on the floor. Blocked by Sacre, who's third all-time in Gonzaga in career blocks. Harris quickly down floor, got position. Can't put it in, but he's fouled. Second team foul on Washington State here in the half.
Well, Elias Harris was quiet in that first half. Little dribble drive here, soft off the window, allows it to kick around both white jerseys inside. And then Sacre, he's going to go twice on the pipes. The move by Modem, not good enough.
Sacre led the WCC in blocks last year with 66. We talked about his stroke at the free throw line. He shot 82% last year after shooting 63% 2 years ago, so he's really improved. Meanwhile, Harris missing the second free throw, and Enquist, who picked up the personal foul there, gets the rebound. 5 straight points for Gonzaga, lead back to 11. 3 minutes gone by here, second half. Aiden just inside the foul line, able to put it in.
He can mix the way he scores. That's a good solid drive.
He's got 12 points. Sacre on the low block as Gonzaga starting to get it in the paint now and find success.
You can't, now you're not sagging in from your perimeter because you know you've got to contest the three, and that's going to be a turnover.
Yep. Palming called on Moore.
Whoa, Moore just pushed Kevin Pangos, just literally pushed him 2 hands. I don't know if the officials didn't see it or what. But
obviously they didn't see it, otherwise they would have called the foul there. Official may have had his back turned to it. Carter and the pass inside. Enquist called for the foul. 2 quick ones on him. Third in the Cougar. Now he pushed him. Now Pangos knocked the ball out of his hand there. Official must have had his back turned.
Everyone had their back turned. I wonder, you know, did Pango say something after the turnover by Moore?
Carter with a kick out to Pangos. His 7th free. The Gonzaga record for a single game is 9 by Dan Dickow, and Pangos is 2 away with 16 minutes to go. Turnover by Washington State. Here's Carter. He'll take it in.
Well, it's the start of the marathon. Welcome to college basketball, Kevin Pangos. Your dad's a coach, your mom's a former player. Did he get a shooting touch from her? Well, it's early, but let's take a look at some of the players who are early favorites for National Player of the Year. Harrison Barnes may get a little competition from Tyler Zeller, who had a big night the other night. Jared Sullinger, Big Ten, had nobody who could check him one-on-one. And then Perry Jones, who's suspended for the first 6, a very talented forward. But Quincy Miller, the freshman, 17-point games in their first 2. Let's see if Baylor cannot fade down the stretch and get into the NCAA tournament. Lots of storylines, Dave.
Including this Gonzaga team.
Yes.
Ranked 23rd in the country. You knew about Sacre and Harris. You didn't know about the young guys. But Kevin Pangos with 21 points, just his 2nd college game. Modem with a good pass that time, and the bucket for Reggie Moore. That ends a 12-2 Gonzaga run.
Oh, you got to give him the ball. Wow. Zachary just had great position, and they went away, just worked so hard.
Pango's fouled by Capers on the way up, so it's a two-shot foul. Third personal on Capers. Free throws for the Zags, and we come back. Gonzaga with a 14-point lead early in the second half. Doris, take us inside the play.
Well, Robert Zachary has not had the kind of night that we expected, but I'll say this. There's a reason Washington State put so much emphasis on him in the scout. Look at the space this guy carves. 7 foot, 260 pounds, understands how to duck in. He's just carving space. He's the reason that Kevin Pangos will go to the free throw line right now.
Zachary, a senior from British Columbia, first team All West Coast Conference last year. Barely played in the first half because of early foul trouble. But the young guys, Gary Bell, Kevin Pangos, 2 freshmen, outstanding from the perimeter in the first half. Now in the second half, Gonzaga starting to get some buckets on the inside. They've controlled the glass throughout. Man, I think that's the intriguing thing about this basketball team. They were plus 21 in rebounds on Friday. And they're leading Washington State on the glass here tonight as well.
And the other point you made in the first half, the depth. I mean, they've got a lot of nice pieces. Their chemistry is tremendous. They're crisper to start the year than you might expect. They've got the glue guy, the underrated role guy in Mike Hart, and a tremendous coach in Mark Few. He's set up a tremendously challenging schedule to prepare them. This team's got an incredible upside, I think.
Pangos now with 23, and there's another guy who's not playing tonight that we're going to see at some point. Guilandry Eddy is a junior college transfer, suspended the first 8 games by the NCAA for signing a pro contract in France. Now Gonzaga has appealed that suspension, but Mark Few telling us today he'll be in the rotation. Held ball, it will go to Gonzaga. The other thing that Mark Few said today that was interesting as you look at Eddy on the Gonzaga bench, again not eligible yet, is he said he's trying to figure out what guys he wanted to redshirt. There are a couple guys he thinks could play and help the team out, but he thinks, well, they might only get 10 minutes this year, where if they redshirt next year as redshirt freshmen, they'll get 20 minutes per game.
Well, and that's a look at a couple of them. And here's the thing, if you're going to play 8 minutes and over the course of a 32 or 35 game season, only average 8 minutes, I'd rather redshirt as a player because I want to play.
Hart's 3 won't go. And the loose ball ends up in the hands of Carter. Then it was knocked away by Moore, and Washington State has the ball. Moore with a lot of control, and it's an offensive foul. 15 foul on Washington State, none on Gonzaga yet. Tuesday, the college hoops tip-off marathon concludes with the inaugural State Farm Champions Classic doubleheader from Madison Square Garden. Mike Krzyzewski looks to pass his mentor Bob Knight for most wins, taking on Michigan State, then Kentucky, Kansas after that.
Well, Anthony Davis, folks, is a freshman, one of the great freshmen in the country. Another great class for John Calipari. Oh.
The stuff by Elias Harris, and Gonzaga has its largest lead.
Well, and part of that problem, 4 of Washington State's last 5 possessions have been turnovers. So you're letting them blow you out of the gym because you're self-destructive.
16-4 run the last 4.5 minutes for the home team. Moore. Shelton able to corral. Can't put it in though. And Pangos able to save it. Pangos on the drive. Hits Harris. He couldn't finish that trip, but no foul call. Now there's Hart again with great hustle, stripping Aiden from behind. Talked about the schedule for Gonzaga. They have a stretch where they play Notre Dame, Illinois, and Michigan State in consecutive games. They also play Butler here and play Arizona in Seattle. Not to mention, you play St. Mary's. BYU now is in the WCC. So it's a challenging schedule for Gonzaga this year as usual.
I think it's a recruiting tool for him, though. I mean, he's built the program to where you play those tough non-conference games because that's the expectation.
Here's what they got coming up. We talked about those consecutive games. They're all on ESPN2. again. Kevin Pangos with his 8th three. .26 points for the freshman. I guess Mark Few made a good decision today when he told us he was going to start Pangos after bringing him off the bench in his first game.
Well, the youngest player ever to suit up for the Canadian national team. I guess talent is pretty easily recognizable. The man can flat shoot the basketball.
Here's Devontae Lacey. Thought he might be more of a factor tonight. Well, he hasn't played a whole lot and has not scored. He had 21 points in his first game, but that was an exhibition contest. Sacre got free, and then a block by Capers. It's a held ball and will go to Washington State.
Wow, how about the athleticism of Capers? This is power, folks, and he flat denies 7 feet, 260 pounds. Go ahead, Mr. Capers. Wow.
He's trying to energize his team verbally afterwards. We'll see. 12 and a half to go, but down 21. And we thought at some point Gonzaga would go cold from three-point land. It just hasn't happened. And Gonzaga foul here. That is the second team foul on the Zags. Kevin Pangos has been the story. 26 points, 8 of 11 threes. He's one shy of tying Dan Dicko's record for a single game, as Ladd will go to the free throw line.
Let's remember, he didn't start against Eastern Washington. Mr. Stockton started, and so this is his first start. And as impressive as his shooting display has been, I'm equally impressed with the command of the offense, the pace at which he plays, his decision-making, his handle, and he plays like the son of a coach.
You know, it's interesting, Victor, is just watching some of the huddles out of timeouts. The players respond to him, too. The veterans, as he's talking, they recognize that Pangos knows what he's doing, and they're responding to that leadership. I don't always see that with a freshman point guard. Here's Bell, hit some threes in the first half, and then a foul called here on Dower. That's third personal on him. Third team foul on the Bulldogs. Check that fourth personal on Dower.
Here's some interesting things. I mean, now you're playing Sacre with Sam Dower. You could put Elias Harris in the lineup, the three of them across that front line, and play big. You've obviously got a smaller lineup on the floor right now with Hart, Dell, and Pangos, but you've got a lot of different lineups depending on the matchup if you're Mark Few.
Good move inside there by Mike Ladd. 18-point lead. Bell able to put it in, and a foul. Ladd tried to draw the charge. It's his first personal 17 foul in Washington State.
Well, Bell can make perimeter shots. We've seen that. His frame is college basketball ready, and twice tonight he's had to adjust his body in midair, been able to take contact. Nice looking young guy.
Gonzaga has 36 points scored by freshmen. Washington State with 42 points as a team. Game one of our tip-off marathon. Dave Pasch, Doris Burke. I know you'll be up at 3 o'clock our time for the Drexel Rider game, and you'll watch that in full before your flight. What else are you looking forward to?
Well, so many games, but we'll begin with URI at Texas. Jacobin Brown from Texas gets 28, and you've got a URI team that is hyper-athletic. Jamal Wilson got 38 for URI, and of course our colleagues Mike Breen and Jeff Van Gundy will be on hand for that one. Michigan State Duke. I'll tell you this, Coach K going for 903. Tom Izzo's team is always a tough out, and then a top 10 matchup, Ohio State, Florida. Just so many great games in the midst of this marathon.
Does Van Gundy wear the glasses for college games, or is it for NBA only?
I'm pretty sure
to find out.
At his age he's got to wear the glasses regardless.
Good move there by Mike Ladd. Gonzaga now in the bonus, as you see at the bottom of your screen, with the Cougars committing 17 fouls. Here's Harris inside, and Pangos Off the front iron. Only his 4th miss from three-point line with 8 made threes. Nice move by Lacey around the defender Pangos, and he put it in. It's a kickball, so it will stay Gonzaga basketball. As Murninghoff comes into the game, he was effective in the first half, hit a couple of threes, had 2 assists as well. They'll replace and that's too easy there. Harris inside getting the bucket.
I tell you, when you play Gonzaga, you have got to do a tremendous job checking out of bounds underneath the basket. They are terrific.
Capers going baseline. Good defense by Sacre. Another held ball, and Gonzaga will get it on the possession arrow. Sacre fired up too.
Let me say this to you. If I'm an NBA team, I'm looking at Robert Sacre. I know he's a 4-year senior, and sometimes there's a bias against this. But that guy plays hard. He's a big body. He brings it every single possession. He's willing to mix it up and bang. I mean, he's like a second unit guy in the NBA that could have some impact for you.
And he can shoot free throws the way he does too. That's another positive. A lot of big guys don't have that feathery touch from the foul line, which he has developed. Was not always a good free throw shooter, but terrific last year. Harris short with a jumper, Modem the rebound. There's Ladd in transition out of control, and Shelton missed the dunk. Ladd again, not shy. And Sacre the rebound. Washington State picked 10th in the Pac-12 along with Colorado in the preseason poll. UCLA picked to win it as Modem takes it in. Nice pass by Lacey. And UCLA lost its opening game. You know, Cal is a team that you like, and Arizona picked 3rd in the Pac-12.
Yeah,
I mentioned that UCLA was upset.
Yeah, I think Ben Howland obviously, very disappointed with the start. Obviously not playing anything at Pauley Pavilion this year as that goes through renovations. Listen, Gary Waters is a terrific coach, but if you're Vanderbilt, you've come in with the highest ranking you've had since the mid-1960s, and I know you're without Festus Ezeli, but you don't lose a home game when you're preseason ranked number 7 in the country. And Belmont folks, everybody was talking about, how shocking it was. It's not shocking. Rick Byrd has done a tremendous job. He is trying to beat Gonzaga and Butler, and he's slowly and steadily building that program. And Belmont would have beaten a lot of teams in the country that night.
What about Duke? Does that tell you anything about Duke? You saw that game against Belmont and how well Belmont played, but what does that tell you about the Blue Devils?
Well, I think the Blue Devils are a team that you had some talent. You have talented pieces. What you didn't know was whether those talented veteran role players were willing to step up into big spots. And you know what? They did. Seth Curry will evolve as a point guard, handling the basketball and still remaining a shooter. I like Duke's team. I really do. The one thing I question about Duke, perimeter defense. Can they keep a high-flying guard who's got tremendous dribble drive skills in front? That would really test them.
Well, those Duke-Carolina games are going to be great this year. They're always good, but especially with the two teams ranked as highly as they are. There's Pangos, who has 26 points, and Murninghoff for his 3rd three. No, but an offensive rebound for Harris. A lob to Sacre, tried to catch it with the left hand and could not hang on. It's a turnover.
Real frustration for Sacre, feeling like his arms were being held. But that's disheartening as a defense. I know they get the turnover there, but all those offensive rebounds when you've got to reset your defense and keep guarding.
Washington State, not really a big team, as Modem hits a 3. It's a 14-point game. Modem's first basket of the second half. He's got 13 for the game. Check that, 15 for the contest for Modem. As a foul is called here on Washington State, 18 fouls, so 1-1 for Zachary. That's on Ladd.
Sorry, Dave. Gonzaga is going to be in the bonus early in a lot of halves.
And we talked about Zachary's ability to hit free throws, and you see that stroke. Again, he improved his foul shooting from 63 2 years ago to 82. And you talk about he's going to get there a lot. And that certainly will help his stock for the next level and help Gonzaga win games this year.
With the way they offensive rebound, and with the way Zachary carves space and draws double teams, and with the way Gary Bell can drive and take contact, that is why they'll be in the bonus early. They're going to put a lot of pressure on defenses.
You got to like Zachary's energy too. His fire, recognizing that, yeah, I'm probably going to win the game, but let's keep up the emotion here with a 16-point lead at the 8-minute mark. Capers down low is fouled. 14 foul on Gonzaga. They get Zachary for his third personal. He picked up those 2 quick ones in the first 3 minutes of the first half and did not play the rest of the first half.
So that's another reason I'd like him as an NBA guy. He plays with emotion. He's hungry. He's upset that he fouls the guy and puts him, wants to guard, wants to stop his guy.
Capers gets the first free throw.
You got to give some credit to this young man and to the Gonzaga staff for his development, because you think about how raw he was when he came in as a rookie.
Yep. Modem got the rebound and the putback, and it's a 13-point game.
This is terrific for Brock Modem. This should be his coming out party.
Here's Pangos in the corner. 8 threes in the game for Pangos. And quiet the last few minutes. He gives it up here to Merninghoff. Now Pangos will let it fly. His 9th three, tying a Gonzaga single-game record set by Dan Dickow. Capers answers with a 2.
Dickow, Step, Pargo, Pangos.
How about Morrison?
Yeah.
His name in there, pretty good college player. And Pangos had just his 2nd game.
Well, listen, this guy, and again, he was constant movement in that possession, and he's a ball mover, folks. Yes, he's got 9 threes, but I'm telling you, not one of the 9 threes have been a bad shot. He hasn't taken a bad shot all night.
You look at his numbers for the game, 9 of 13 from three-point line. Think about this, last year, only 2 Gonzaga performances topped what Pangos has done tonight. Stephen Gray had 35 points in a game.
How many field goals is this guy responsible for? I mean, he had 5 assists in the first half. He's got 9 threes. He's now got 6 assists. And I'm telling you, he's a ball mover. You know what I mean by that? So he's not every time just looking to shoot it. He's looking, okay, what's the next pass? What's the right play? And even-tempered. We haven't seen him pump his chest.
Nope.
We haven't seen him talk smack. He just goes back and calls the defense. Gotta love this kid.
Bell trying to split the double team. There's contact and a Washington State foul. That's the 19th foul, so it'll be a 1-and-1 for Gonzaga when we come back to Spokane.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Disney Parks. Don't wait, let the memories begin. And at Park by Toyota.
Coming up as our season tip-off marathon continues, you'll see Rob Jones of St. Mary's lead the Gales against Northern Iowa. It's coming up next.
And Reese, part of the broadcast team for that St. Mary's game. Sean Farnham joins us now. Sean not only doing that game, but also the Cal game tomorrow night. The 2 games in 24 hours. You drew the short straw, but I know you're excited about it, Sean. How's the scene there at St. Mary's right now?
It is electric here. Of course, it could be a great night for the WCC. Obviously, Pango's putting on a show for you guys up there. Matthew Dellavedova looks to lead the way for the Gales tonight against Anthony James and Northern Iowa team that's played really well at the defensive end of the floor in the early stages of this season.
It's a good thing you're young, Sean, because you're going to go late tonight and late tomorrow night. But you also had Cal last night, one of the teams that I think is intriguing in the Pac-12 conference. What were your impressions of that group from Mike Montgomery?
Well, I was really impressed with the overall balance within that team. We know about Jorge Gutierrez and how talented he is and how he can impact the game at both the defense and offensive ends. Alan Crabb is shooting the ball at a very high rate right now. Justin Cobb's off the bench, and they've got a freshman by the name of Kravish who is doing an excellent job on the glass, and they need some interior help if they're going to win the Pac-12 championship this year.
All right, Sean. Hey, thanks. Have fun.
I got my 5-hour energy. I'll be all right.
The Cal game tomorrow night, I guess tonight on the East Coast. And next, St. Mary's. Who, by the way, is 3-0 in the tip-off marathon. As Moore is fouled shooting at 3, so 3 free throws coming.
We pulled that double duty a couple years ago, but clearly they think we're both too old for that now.
Yep, we were at UCLA, and then we came back and did a game at Arizona State. As we're closing in on hour number 3 of this tip-off marathon, the 4th annual. More free throws for Reggie Moore. Check that one more. And it's 72-59 Gonzaga. So Washington State not done yet with 6.5 to go. See if Pangos breaks Dan Dickau's record. He's tied him with his 9th 3. The WCC record for threes in a game. Jeff Fryer, Loyola Marymount back in 1990. Hit 11 against Michigan. And those great LMU teams. Tough shot by Aiden. That was a big possession there for Washington State, but an empty one.
But I'll tell you, Gonzaga is going to dominate the glass between the athleticism of Harris and the space eater that is Sacre. They're going to get a lot of boards, plus the hustle rebounds by guys like Mike Hart.
Well, good look. Athletic move by Harris. He couldn't get it to drop, and then Sacre gets the rebound and is fouled. 10th team foul on Washington State. It'll be 2 free throws for Sacre, personal on Will Diorio. Tuesday, the College Hoops Tip-Off Marathon presented by Disney Parks continues on ESPN2. Pat Summitt, Lady Vols taking on Miami at 6, and then Ohio State, Florida at 8. Now, last year, Jared Sullinger in that matchup had 26 points and 10 rebounds against the Gators.
Nice young player in Bradley Beal that Florida's very excited about. Can I make a point about Elias Harris? In the first 20 minutes, you and I were saying, where is this guy?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the second 20, his activity and the athleticism and all that explosion that you've seen historically in his career has been on display. If this guy could keep his focus for 40 minutes, he'd be an absolute terror.
Well, he could be the X factor for this team. 2 years ago, it had a great freshman year. His numbers dipped last year. And did not hit as many threes as he did as a freshman either. But if he can get back to that level with the balance they have and the depth they have, look out. Speaking of look out, Bell goes tumbling to the deck, and that's the second time that Moore has made contact after the whistle blew.
A little frustration, both after mistakes, too, from him. Just there, they just get their feet tangled.
Actually, here looking at the replay, maybe a little push with the right hand on the back, but it didn't seem to be volatile, and that's why there was no flagrant foul called. The intentional foul is no longer part of college basketball. Basically, a flagrant one is not what you would call the old intentional foul. That appeared to be clean, though, just entanglement as the free throws for Gary Bell make it 75-59.
That bonus there is just simply telling folks at home that once you reach a certain number of fouls per half, you get one-on-one free throw opportunities. Sorry about that.
Three-pointer for Lacey, and now it says bonus plus because you're in double bonus with a 10th team foul on Washington State. Cougars aren't done. 13-point game, nearing the 5-minute mark. Harris put it in and a foul.
See, to me, because of this guy's athleticism and skill, I don't think there should ever be a 3 or 4 minute period where he's not making some play. Solid power dribble to get up toward the rim. They just, folks, this is a simple drop step move, goes right chest to chest with the defender. That's the kind of contact you should seek if you're a post guy.
This is the free throw, though. 14 points for Harris in the ball game. Diorio picked up his second personal. And on the other end, the three from Mike Ladd. So it's a 12-point game. And a timeout called by Mark Few. I give Washington State credit here. You know, Gonzaga, a lot of times when you're on the road and the other team, the home team, shooting the lights out, the crowd's going wild, you're done. But Washington State keeps fighting.
I'll tell you that they have played hard the entire night. There's a couple times where it looked like they were getting blown off the floor, and they just keep plugging away. And I'll tell you what, this is the great equalizer, is it not? You start making some threes, and just like that, back to back within 12. Gotta like their toughness, especially for a team that's trying to find itself without Klay Thompson.
Well, what do they have to do defensively here? Because every time we've seen Washington State get a big shot, they give up something on the other end. What has to change?
Yeah,
How to change it?
I thought right out of the gates in the second half, the pressure they extended was important because they said, okay, we gave up some threes. We were too concerned about the interior. They started pressuring more. The one guy they've got to tag is Pangos. You cannot let him free. And then the offensive glass is just killing them.
Yep. And that's been a story through the first two games for Gonzaga this year, is their ability to go retrieve it off the window. And good defense there, and then a push by Hart, and that's the 16th foul on Gonzaga. So ball out of bounds. Washington State with a chance to cut the lead to 10, maybe 9.
That's what I'm saying. They say the second half they totally changed, and they went so much more assertive and aggressive. When the pass is gone from the middle of the floor to the side of the floor, Ken Bonus said, okay, guys, we're going to extend and trap that. Let's stay away from the interior by putting some pressure on the ball.
Second foul on Hart. He'll go to the bench. Here's Modem. Leaves it for Moore. They're going to mismatch if they can get it back to Modem. He's got Gary Bell on him. Diorio on the baseline. And it's a 10-point contest with 4.5 to go. Zachary called for the offensive foul. That's 4 on him. He put Modem on the deck. And now if you're Mark Few, you leave Zachary out there at the 4:25 mark with 4 personals. I
think he's a senior, so he might elect to do so. If it were me, I'd be so nervous. I'd get him out and just wait till the under 4 timeout. But there you see it. It's underneath. Modem doing a great job fighting him, and he sells it, more importantly.
Yep. Here's Modem. Can't get the bounce. The putback won't go. They had 2 great chances around the rim to cut the lead to 8. And now Carter misses the 3. Tracked down by Modem. Here's Moore. A 3 goes for Lacey, and it's a 7-point game.
That's a rookie who is fearless, Devontae Lacey. And another timeout.
Yeah. 11-2 run by Washington State.
Well, complacency, you start feeling like you're playing great and you put them out. And a little bit of lack of focus on the defensive end. Look at everybody's flat-footed, so penetration leads to a kick out. A little late challenge by Pangos, and the rookie, Lacey, makes it just 7.
Well, we thought in the open that he was going to have to be a factor for Washington State. He now is here in the final 4 minutes. They got Aiden on the bench. And it's freshman Lacey, and then Diorio, who didn't play at all in the first half, comes in and gets a big bucket on the baseline.
Well, that last replay, I think, said it all in the last couple minutes for Gonzaga. Everybody in the white jerseys was flat-footed, and every single guy's hands were down. And that's very telling. you can't be so concerned with your offense that you don't complete the game defensively, and I think they've just lost a little bit of focus.
Now for Gonzaga, if you're Kevin Pangos, how do you attack things? You're the point guard, and you haven't taken a shot in a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's done an exceptional job moving without the basketball. Once he's given it up, he's relocated, and he's found the open spots. And that speaks to his basketball IQ, because he simply keeps moving. And look at everything's on balance. His shoulders and feet are always square to the rim. He's on the catch. He's ready to get it into the shooting pocket and go. How efficient has this 29 been?
9 of 13 from 3, tying the school record. Dan Dickau for made threes in a single game. Washington State trying to trap and get a steal. Now it's in the hands of Pangos. He'll give it up to Bell. And the lob to Harris. Harris with the left hand, and Zachary's got to be careful not to get that 5th foul. He kept that alive for Harris. Another offensive rebound for the Zags. You see both teams now in the bonus, with Gonzaga in the double bonus. The lob deflected, and Modem couldn't handle it. Gonzaga saves it, but right to a Washington State player, and here comes Moore with numbers. The three-pointer is good for Lacey. It's a 4-point game. 11 points for Devontae Lacey. 14-2 run by Washington State. What a way to start the marathon. Contact inside. They're going to get DiOrio for his 3rd personal. It'll be 2 free throws for Zachary when we come back.
Boy, you got to admire the toughness and the heart and the grit that Washington State has shown. They're playing so hard. They cut into a major deficit. Their defense turning into offense. Gonzaga a little bit slow to get up the floor. They tired? I don't know, but Washington State's got legs.
And Reese here, Washington State within 4 of Gonzaga with 2:44 to go. Zachary, who has made 15 of his last 16 free throws, has hit the line shooting 2. The closest Washington State has been since it was a 6-1 game in the opening minutes.
You gotta love a big guy who can make free throws, because he's not a liability end game. You don't have to take him out.
"17 of his last 18 now he's made at the foul line, and the lead is 6 for Gonzaga.
This is the end that they need to tighten up on.
Lacey's hit a couple of threes. See if they look for him here. Moore on the drive, can't get it to go. DiOrio has it swatted away. Zachary had to be careful not to get that 5th foul. He gets a block, and then he's fouled by DiOrio. And Zachary will go back to the line for 2 free throws. 4th on DiOrio.
Watch how tough Zachary is inside. The crossover was sensational by Moore. That is twice on the pipes. DiOrio can't believe it. Let's see from this angle. Does it look like he gets any of his wrist? You're pointing at the elbow on that replay.
Well, I was watching to see if he did push off there at the end after the whistle blew with the elbow, but he didn't appear to make contact. One more free throw for Zachary. He's hit 4 in a row here in the last 30 seconds, and the lead back to 8.
Giving his team a little breathing room.
Ladd pushed. That's the 8th team foul, so it'll be a 1-and-1 here for Ladd. They get Carter for the personal foul as we start hour number 3 of the tip-off marathon. At least 22 more to go. Ladd shooting 1-and-1.
Well, if they're all as good as this one, folks, you're in for a tremendous 25 hours. It looked a couple of times like Gonzaga was going to blow Washington State out. Give Ken Bone's team a ton of credit for their toughness.
And they're not done yet with 2:14 to go. It's a 2-possession game, and Marcus Capers will replace Lacey. St. Mary's, another WCC team, is on deck playing Northern Iowa. St. Mary's tied Gonzaga for the regular season title in the West Coast Conference last year.
Ken Bone just tutoring his young guy, the freshman Lacey.
Good defense by Modem to get the block. Inside 2 minutes remaining, Washington State with the ball, trailing by 6. Capers and Sacre got the block. And then a layup that's missed and out of bounds to Gonzaga. Washington State continues to miss bunnies.
That's in large part to Sacre's presence. He is an intimidating factor. Reggie Moore has gotten where he's wanted to go, but Sacre's been there to clean up the mess. He is an intimidating force, and it goes off of Washington State.
You got to make that if you're Capers that second time, as a timeout is called here by Gonzaga. That'll leave each team with 1.
One thing Gonzaga's doing that's really hurting them, and this is on, and you can see the coaching staff right now talking to Pangos. He's passing the ball to exactly the spot on the floor Washington State wants it. They're setting themselves up for a trap. Keep the ball off the sideline if you're Kevin Pangos.
So you're saying he's finally looking like a freshman.
He is. First time all night.
Guy's been outstanding with 29 points, 9 threes. All of his field goals have been from behind the arc. He has 6 assists as well. He had 5 assists and no turnovers at halftime. Well, what do you do here if you're Washington State? How do you handle this here? You're down 6. You have 1:41 to go.
Oh, you've got plenty of time. You're talking a 2-possession game, and with the effectiveness of their traps, you know, just play solid defense. This is what I'm talking about. He's passing it right to where they want to trap. And see, everybody's cheating up. You're forced to call a timeout. You know, Pangos has got to try to do better to get the ball to the middle of the floor. Let's see where he goes with this pass here.
Possession arrow favors Washington State, by the way. We've had a lot of held ball situations in this game so far. Good job by Washington State on defense to get a steal. And now Moore with a pull-up. There was contact, and a foul is called. They're going to call a foul, and this will be 3 free throws for Moore. That's on Pangos. His third 19th foul on the Bulldogs.
So a couple of freshman plays by the young man. You can't go out and challenge if you're not under control.
3 free throws for Moore, who's shooting 75%. Or last year shot 75% at the foul line. Tonight he's 5 of 6. The next one, if he makes it, will make it a 1-possession game.
This guy's been tremendous. They have not been able to keep him in front down the stretch of this game, and he's making all the right plays.
Reggie Moore gets all 3. It's a 3-point game. Each team with a timeout. Washington State was down 20 earlier in this half. Bell, and a defensive foul is called. DiOrio just fouled out. So 2 free throws coming up here for the freshman Gary Bell Jr.
What do you notice, though? Pangos, after getting tutored from the sideline, has gone to the middle of the floor, and then they've kicked it out to the sideline. If you keep it away from those sidelines, those are the gaps where Washington State's looking to trap you.
Bell, another guy that has not looked like a freshman, but difficult possession here, and he misses the first free throw. Trying to make it a 2-possession game. He's missed 3 foul shots, has 13 points.
You get Mike Hart on the floor if you're Gonzaga, because he's a scrappy rebounder, a little bit bigger, and is a guy who's a possession guy.
4-point lead for Gonzaga as we hit the 1-minute mark. Here's Reggie Moore. Got to get rid of it. Lacey on the baseline, lost it. They're going to say that It was last touched by Gonzaga on the end line.
Yeah, it's a good call. He was standing on the out of bounds line when the ball hit him in the thigh. It's a very good call.
And you see DiOrio was back on the floor, so apparently they changed that last foul. Initially they had called it on him, then they changed it. Otherwise he would have fouled out. Gonzaga does not have a field goal since the 5-12 mark. So they finally hit their cold spell. It's a 4-point game. If you're Washington State here, how do you attack this possession?
Well, first of all, very good defense through the first part of that shot clock. They've now got 13 ticks. Obviously, you want to be as efficient as possible. If you can get a good look at a three, fine. But the way Reggie Moore is breaking down the defense, I'd have him attack off the dribble and see if you can't get an N1. And remember, you still got plenty of time here. 49 seconds is a world of time in a two-possession game.
While we have a moment, let's take a look at our moment of the game. Brought to you by Disney Parks. Kevin Pango's 9th 3 of the game.
And again, I know he's made a couple of mistakes down the stretch here, but he has been sensational. A ball mover from the point guard spot. He's got 6 assists. Everything he has taken shot-wise has been within the flow of the offense. What an impressive performer.
But Gonzaga is just 2 of its last 8 from three-point land. Washington State has the ball with 13 to shoot, trailing Gonzaga by 4. Remember, Robert Sacre has 4 fouls, and he's been living dangerously lately. Let's see if they try to attack him here.
Well, one play that you could run, because you've got the highly athletic Modem, if you could ever get a little screen interior lob without taking any time off, that'd be ideal.
Here's Moore. The 3 is in and out for Lacey, and Sacre with the rebound. And now you got a foul if you're Washington State, right? Yep, there is Moore fouling Pangos, so the freshman will go to the line. Well, that 3 was halfway down and out for Lacey. Coming up next on ESPN, it's Northern Iowa and St. Mary's. That game has just started. We'll take you right there. Just underway. You see the score in the upper right-hand corner of your TV screen. Pangos 2 for 2 tonight, 8 for 8 from the foul line so far this year, and he gets the first one.
No heads down over there. You know, listen, this is still a game.
Six-point lead, 3 or 2 if you're Washington State.
Now I go 3. Either that or I'm right at the rack if I'm Reggie Moore. You can't wait here.
Moore trying to create space, lets it fly, hits a 3. It's a 3-point game.
It's a two-possession game. There was no need for those heads down on Washington State. Now you got to catch and foul.
And they foul Sacre. There's DiOrio's foul. Well, make him go to the bench, and Sacre will shoot 2 free throws.
Efficiency is key, and Reggie Moore has been through it, and he understands it. So he just tries to use his crossover ability and the screen from Modem. They get a little switch, and he makes it a 3-point game.
So DiOrio fouls out. And now Rob Sacre, who has made 19 of his last 20 at the foul line, will shoot 2. Washington State is out of timeouts. Gonzaga has 1 remaining.
And we should really mention, we've been remiss, in fact, in not saying that Washington State has been without a redshirt senior, Abe Lotwick, tonight. And a guy who's not a high-scoring guy, but a tremendous rebounder, great screener, does a lot of the little things I've been talking about with Mike Hart. So that's a big miss on the road.
How about Reggie Moore? We weren't even sure if he was going to play tonight because of that groin injury, but he's been spectacular. Robert Sacre, you saw 12 points, all of those coming in the second half. And most of those at the free throw line. And he hits another one to make it a 2-possession game.
Washington State now without a timeout. So you're making decisions on the fly if you're the guards, in particular Reggie Moore. He's got experience, got to go.
Sacre 12 of 12 at the foul line tonight. Moore's 3 short. Rebound Gonzaga. And Ladd fouls Pangos. And it looks like the Zags will survive despite almost blowing a 20-point lead.
See Mark Few, what he's doing, he's putting his hands together, saying, huddle up, guys, huddle up. Let's make sure we're communicating. We got to finish this thing off.
And Kevin Pangos, who has 31 points on the night, will shoot 2. And certainly some teaching moments available for Mark Few. After his freshman looked so good in the first half, the crowd's going wild. Gonzaga looks like they're going to run away with it, but they let Washington State back in the game.
I think teaching moments for both teams. What a tremendous start.
Here's Lacey for 3. Zachary rebounds, and they foul him with 6.2 on the clock.
So Zachary, after not playing pretty much for the last 15, 16 minutes of the first half, he's got 14 points.
He's been perfect at the free throw line tonight. Gonzaga, how about this down the stretch? 11 of 12 at the foul line as a team. That one missed free throw is by Gary Bell. And John Stockton, who attends all the Gonzaga games, son David on the team. There's going to be a lane violation on Harris, so that free throw doesn't count, but an 8-point lead with 6 seconds left. Gonzaga is going to win. Odom misses a 3, and Gonzaga wins at 89-81. Coming up next on ESPN, Northern Iowa and St. Mary's. This has been an exclusive presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Doris Burke, I'm Dave Pasch. Good night or good morning, depending on where you are. From Spokane, here's Dave Fleming.